settlement, and each of the claimant is supposed to get proportionally share whatever it comes out to be, whatever that amount is. I don't want to discuss that, but they will settle it, and all those book authors or the authors in the other capacities who wrote the books which were used for LLM development, they would be getting the compensation. Now, why I brought this reference? For instance, we tried to use AI plagiarism for our PhDs also, but we failed. The major drawback is that the AI plagiarism tools which are available today, they are not so accurate. That's one. Lower end, the lower ones, they do not give you the source that where from that material has come. So unless and until you are able to get the source, you will not be able to act upon that. And then third, your own material is being put in the plagiarized category. So if his scholar is submitting a thesis, so his own material is being put in the plagiarized category. So what do you do? So there were many problems using plagiarism. Conventional tool, we got, let's say, the plagiarism of around 8%, 10%, whereas, if the same was subjected to AI detection, it went up to 70 or 80%. So that is what is happening. Because anything now, presently my advice is based on my experience, that please refrain from using AI for any purpose. Do not put your text, own text never put, even for improvement of the grammar, I want you, because that goes into the public domain, and next time, when somebody else searches it, then it would be shown there. When you yourself search, it would be shown there, it would be constituted as plagiarism. If you are doing it for finding sources, relevant sources, etc., okay, you may do it. But this is not the right time to put your text into the AI tool and ask it to improve upon that. So-called ethical AI, so-called paraphrasing, you can use it for paraphrasing, but I have my reservations over that, and let me share on this common platform those reservations also with you. Of course, AI, of course, 2024 Nobel Prize. It has gone based on AI. Google DeepMind developed alpha model. AlphaFold based on neural network processing. Professor will know it, Rupesh will know it. And, so great things have happened, and that, in fact, solved the mystery which would not be solved for over 4 or 5 decades. And they are able to predict now accurately the protein structures and so on. So therefore, since there is a lot of confusion, publishers, editors will not detect your AI plagiarism. Still, they have refrained from doing it. Many of the publishing houses, they may ask you to submit a certificate that I have not used AI, or I have used AI only for the grammar purpose or for sourcing purpose, etc., etc. So you have to declare it. So these were some of the thoughts, as we have grown, from that era, which the era was of recognition and reputation to gradually quantitative metrics. And now we are getting into the era of AI, which of course is at least as of now, it's a double-edged sword. It's always a double-edged sword. It's going to be a double-edged sword. But when to use it judiciously, really for your benefit and work, is the question, because what else one might be trapped. I know time is limited. I have lectured also, extensive lecture over this. So I would conclude. I would, conclude it now. I would definitely extend my gratitude to our Honorable Vice Chancellor who presided over this meeting, and also to our Pro-Vice Chancellor, Professor Singh, and Esteemed Vice President, Professor Patari, and all other teams and directors who are here. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable insights. I now invite Mr. Akshay Srivastav, sir, Director HR, Amity University, Rajasthan, to share insights about AIU, AUR, AATC.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sir, Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor, Sir, respected Professor Sir, Dean Research, Sir, all my deans and directors, and faculty members and research scholars. Gives me immense pleasure to extend a warm and cordial welcome for this faculty development program, Advanced and Emerging Trends in Academic Research, Writing and Publication. Now, this program is being organized under the aegis of AIU grant that has been given for establishing the AADC Center at AUR. I will go back to 2023 when Honorable Vice Chancellor Sir actually told me that we should start a center like this, for which the grant has been given by AIU. So why don't you apply for it? So when I applied for the first year, it was already past the last date for application. The next year in 2024, when we applied, we were one of the 10 universities all across India which were taken up by AIU for this grant, for the development of the center. So the objectives of ADC for universities are as follows. It provides continuous knowledge and skill acquisition and enhancement of faculty in order to contribute effectively to the changing landscape. Now, it is also given the charge of training administrative staff in higher education institutions with appropriate skills to adapt to emerging information technologies, prepare library professionals and other technical staffs in HEI to contribute to knowledge and learning research resources as per the global demands and the local needs, and introduce research scholars to the principle of academic integrity and professional ethics. So, what is also the mandate for this AADC is, in today's rapidly evolving academic landscape, the ability to conduct impactful research and effectively communicate it through high quality publication is of paramount importance. So this FDP aims to equip our faculty members and research scholars with advanced knowledge, contemporary tools, and best practices in academic writing, publishing ethics, and navigating emerging trends in research dissemination. I'm confident that this program will provide a rich platform for learning, collaboration, intellectual growth, and enable all participants to enhance their research capabilities, contribute meaningfully in the academic community. I warmly welcome all the dignitaries and participants, and I wish the program great success. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I now invite Professor Dr. G.K. Aseri, sir, Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor, to share about Amity University, Rajasthan.
Thank you very much, madam. So, on behalf of Amity University, Rajasthan, let's welcome 385 participants from 32 higher education institutions to Amity University, Rajasthan. So, congratulations to Director HR and Dean Research, Vinay Sharma ji, and your full team for organizing this wonderful event, Emerging Trends in Research, Writing and Publication in form of FDP, which is very, very important step in the journey of faculty. So big thanks to Honorable Vice Chancellor. He's available online and he is giving always open hand for this type of the initiatives. So Amity University Rajasthan is organizing this event, and we are aware that faculty development program is a very important, where we upgrade our skills, where we add something more in our skills as well as in our teaching, learning, pedagogy, and to understand the students more and more. As a university of the family Amity Education Group, 14 universities and 17 international campuses, 30 schools. So we are the big family handling higher education, carrying the flag of education in India, Asia, and all other continents wherever we are. We are from US to Dubai, Dubai to Singapore, and in India we have East, West, North, South, in the form of universities, schools, colleges, and in higher education research centers. I myself is a microbiology teacher, so I understand the role of FDP wherever we discuss about the teaching, learning, evaluation, or sometime in the technical skills of the laboratory. Some students are also available in last 3-4 rows. Tomorrow you will be as a faculty definitely, and it looks a easy job. But now these days faculties are working just like as industry people are working. Faculties are involved in R&D, faculties are involved in teaching, learning, evaluation, and faculties are involved in innovations, and many faculties are also running their own innovations in form of startups. So university provides a wonderful platform to come as a researcher, to come as a scientist, to come as a faculty, to come as an innovator and show your skills, share your knowledge, and participate in the nation building activities. So we all are faculty members. 385 participants are available, majorly online. Few are in this hall, which is a law department moot court, a wonderful place where I have seen the mega activity on last Thursday. The university is organizing multiple activities. Vice Chancellor is also heading one event in the university today itself, same time. Like Thursday, we have also seen 3-4 activities in the different departments. Today also, we have seen various activities where we have developed the apprenticeship development programs. We have seen the QS sustainability work is going on by the faculty members, from the faculty members, where faculty members committees are working. It means there is a wing, there is a place where faculty members are working on data compilation and showcasing the university as various national and international platform. So my dear faculty members, scholars, the role of faculty is very important in nation building activities. Like today, Amity University Rajasthan preparing QS, preparing THE and various ranking and accreditations, and simultaneously with help of Vinay Sharma ji and Akshat ji, Director HR, the emerging trends in the research writing and publication. Research writing and publication are the very important area now these days, because R&D is in main focus. Our nation is going in a different direction where we are talking about the Make in India and Make in India. It means we believe in local technology, indigenous technology, our own technology, and definitely technology will be the end product. But initially we need to understand that research writing and publication, where Vinay Sharma ji has given some points, and Kothari ji is available here. He is heading the STIF department, a very special type of department. Initially we thought it is a department who push the R&D. But I will share you one point with the THE, the world ranking. They have designed a particular question that in your university, if you have any dedicated department who is having mission to boost the R&D, then we were shocked. And with bottom of the heart, we have given thanks to our founder, president and chancellor, sir. They have given their thought in this direction, and the 10 years before, they have initiated and created this type of the separate department in the all 14 universities. That time it was 9. Now 14 departments, now 14 universities. So STIF is a different type of the platform who gives the boost in all different type of the area, interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary, and in my own language, if I say, Amity University Rajasthan is having 18 department and 10 research centers, 4,800 students, including 600 PhD scholars, and 220 plus faculty members and 300 support staff who are working day and night with only one mission: research, innovation, and preparation of professionals. Our mission is to prepare industry-ready, research-ready creation of professionals. Graduation, post-graduation, doctorate, 600 PhD scholars are working. in 120 different laboratories. If you see the infrastructure, we have electron microscope to HPLC, we have ICP-MS to RT-PCR, we have different high-end equipment in engineering, in fashion technology, in media school, in nanotechnology, and if you discuss in the physiotherapy, pharmacy, forensic science, hotel management, we have other than medical all type of branches in the university. Why I am sharing at this platform? Because it is a faculty development program and we are dealing with 400 approx faculty members. Available online, offline. So my duty is to showcase the university not only for the best practices, but we welcome you all after this FDP, interact with us, work with us, and enjoy the academics and research at Amity University, Rajasthan. So thanks, you all of you. You are right and left hand of this particular FDP led by Vinay Sharma ji and Akshat ji. Entire university is with you. Big thanks to the hand-picked diamonds who will deliver lectures and take sessions today and next 4 days. 2 guest stars are available in front of me. Welcome to Amity University, Rajasthan. And many are online. They will join maybe tomorrow onwards. So jointly we will enjoy the session and strengthen our teaching, learning and evaluation, particularly in research writing and publication, which are the need of the hour. And as I am also a science person, my point is definitely H index and I-10 index and lot of index are available in the market. We people are working. Lot of rankings are also attached to this type of grades and ranking. But initiate R&D where you can connect end users, where you finish your research with some product which can be utilized by last user. So this is the, I think, mission given by the government of India, that they have given 2026 for the farmers, for the agricultural technology, where government has requested to all the scientists and the professors and the university people to innovate something which will support farmers directly. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your inspiring and motivating words. I now take the privilege to invite our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Amit Jain, sir, to deliver the opening remarks. Due to his occupancy, sir has joined us in the virtual meet. Sir.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Right. Thank you so much. So I joined my colleagues, Dr. Vinay Sharma, Dr. Aseri, Professor Kothari, there in welcoming all the participants of this wonderful FDP program that has been organized in association with AIU's Academic and Administrative Development Center. We are so proud to have this support from AIU, and we are very actively collaborating by organizing some very important and pertinent faculty development programs. As I can see that there are close to 300 plus participants, some online, some offline. And I feel that all of you are so lucky that you have the opportunity to attend the full program. And you are lucky enough that you are not at any administrative position because we miss these opportunities these days where not even possible to come and attend the inaugural also. But nevertheless, it is definitely a great opportunity that all of us have gathered here, and definitely we all will benefit. The title of the program, as said, Emerging Trends in Research Writing and Publication. So the focus is not only on the research methods, but it is also on how you can get published. And it is very, very important to strengthen the research culture and advancing academic excellence within the university. In fact, in today's evolving academic landscape, research is no longer confined to discovery alone. It is equally about how effectively that knowledge is communicated to the world. I often tell my young colleagues that research is a conversation with the world, right? When you write a research paper and you publish it in a journal, so it is like all of you have gone to a party, and this is the party of let's say the IPL fans. Now, if you don't know about which are the teams that are participating, if you don't know who are the major players, if you don't know who are the captains, who is one of the best batsmen, you will not have anything to talk about in this party or in this event. Let's say you are a football fan and not a cricket fan, right? So research is exactly like that. When you research in a particular area, the way you can go and talk to the outside world is through your publications, what you write. Now, it is very, very important to publish your paper in right kind of journal, because as I said, you need, if you are a cricket fan, you need to be in a party where IPL is discussed and not in a party where soccer is being discussed, right? So it is very important to have right journal, it is very important to have right language, it is very, very important for all of you to clearly communicate the outcomes of your research. So that is very, very important. First thing that I believe should be taken care of. So it is equally important that how your knowledge is communicated to the world. Well written paper not only presents findings but tells a story that can inspire, influence, and also ignite further inquiry. So I could see that the design of this program is very thoughtful, with a lot of contemporary tools and perspective being added. The integration of AI tool is a significant step forward, although we are facing a lot of difficulty now. Many a times I have observed that even when people are writing on their own, right, and it says that it is AI generated. Someone shared a very good example that someone shared an article, newspaper article, uh, which was published almost before 30-40 years, right? And it was scanned through AI, for AI, in the plagiarism software, and it said that it is AI generated. Now, these are the challenges that you will face. Now, obviously, before 40 years, there was no AI, but because AI will scan that article based on the sources available on the internet, and this article might be somewhere in the repository, but it could not give the source. It says it is AI generated, it is plagiarized. So those are the kind of issues that come up, which definitely need to be taken care of. So when used responsibly, these tools can support in drafting, in streamlining the editing processes. It will ensure the ethical compliance. It will also allow researchers to focus more on originality and depth, rather than being very, very mechanical. I've seen people writing literature review very mechanically. There is no coherence, there is no linkage, there is no hierarchy followed, or there is no longitudinal order followed of what was said earlier, what was said later. So those aspects definitely need to be taken care of. When we talk about research, another important aspect is the integrity, and learning to detect and avoid plagiarism, adhering to proper citation practices are not only technical skills but also determine the credibility of the researcher. So that is very, very important. There are some very interesting examples I was reading in this book by Daniel Kahneman, Thinking Fast, Thinking Slow. And this book basically talks about a lot of cognitive biases that many of us have. For example, this book cites one example of what we call as inattentional blindness. So there's an experiment of few people playing basketball, and they all are in white t-shirts, and the participants are given a task to count that how many times the ball is passed. You have to count the number of ball passes during a duration of, let's say, 30 seconds or 1 minute or so. And uh, people do it very correctly. Many of the participants or the respondents, they are able to identify the right number of ball passes, but almost 60 to 70% people fail to realize that in between, when the clip was being played, there was a person dressed as a gorilla who has come in the clip, right, and just thumped the chest and then went away for a second. But because our mind is focused on counting the ball passes, we only focus on ball pass, white t-shirt, the basketball ball, and how many times the ball was passed. And we ignore something which is actually visible there. Now, that is what happens when we become too much driven by our objectives. We become too fascinated by the numbers, and we only look at the statistics. And sometimes numbers and statistics may lie, right? A lot of things are lost in the averages, something which is not visible otherwise. Similarly, there are other kind of cognitive biases. There's one example. If I ask you that a bat and a ball together cost $1.10, the bat cost $1 more than the ball. How much does the ball cost? You may type, some of you. A bat and ball together cost $1.10. The bat cost $1 more than the ball. How much the ball cost? A general response given by most of the people is 10 cents. But the correct answer is actually 5 cents. Because together both cost $1.10. And if the bat cost $1 more than the ball, then it is actually 5 cents for the ball and $1.05 for the bat. So these are the kind of examples where there are, cognitive biases. There are biases in terms of anchoring of these sentences, how it is communicated, how it is presented. And as a researcher, I believe that we must avoid these kind of biases. I would like to sincerely thank the organizing committee for their dedicated efforts in bringing this program to life in collaboration with, of course, AIU. And I appreciate the coordination and the work done by our coordinator for the academic development center, Mr. Akshay Srivastava, who is also our director HR. And to all the participants, I extend my best wishes. May this FDP enrich your understanding, sharpen your skills, and lead to meaningful and high quality research outcomes. Thank you once again. Have a great learning experience.
Thank you so much, sir, for your motivating opening remarks. Moving on further to welcome our dignitaries and guests, we are now proceeding with the floral felicitation ceremony. I now request Professor Vinay Sharma, sir, to kindly felicitate Professor Dr. G.K. Aseri, sir, with floral greetings. Thank you, sir. I would now request Mr. Akshay Srivastava, sir, to kindly felicitate Professor Vinay Sharma, sir. I now request Dr. Surya Pratap Singh, sir, to kindly felicitate Mr. Akshay Srivastava, sir, with floral greetings. I now request Dr. Arpit Srivastav sir to kindly felicitate Dr. S.L. Kothari sir. I now request Professor Vinay Sharma sir to kindly felicitate our guest, Dr. Anurag Sharma. I will now request Professor Neelam ma'am to kindly felicitate our guest, Dr. Rohit Jain sir. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. We'll now take a short break of 10 minutes for the tea, and we'll again resume at 3:05 p.m. All are requested to kindly join at the earliest.
इसको अमेंडमेंट कर सकते हैं क्या? तो हम तो कर सकते हैं, ओके कर देंगे, बस इतना से काम करता है, नहीं क्या यहाँ से कंट्रोल हो सकती है।
We are starting with the session. I request everyone to kindly join at the earliest, both the online and the offline participants. I request all the faculty members, research scholars, and our participants to kindly join at the earliest. Once again, I welcome each one of you. We now begin with our first session of this FGP. which is on overview of research, writing and publication, which would be delivered by Professor Vinay Sharma, sir. Before inviting sir, I would like to briefly introduce our esteemed speaker, Professor Vinay Sharma, sir. Sir is currently the Dean Research and Director of PhD Program, Amity Institute of Biotechnology, Amity University, Rajasthan. Earlier, sir has served as an Associate Professor at IIT Roorkee and Dean and Head at Vanasali Vidyapeeth. To his credentials, there are more than 440 publications, including 400 in research journals, 50 in conference proceedings, 4 textbooks, 5 edited books, and he is also the guest editor of 5 research journals on thematic issues. Sir has got a very high H index of 49, I-10 index 191, and more than 9050 citations. Sir's major research interest is in plant stress biology, plant biotechnology, plant informatics, lignocellulosic bioethanol, secondary metabolites, in-field photosynthetic performance, and many more. Sir has guided more than 78 PhDs which have already been awarded, many of whom are well placed and employed as faculty in Indian and foreign universities and industries. Currently, he is also mentoring several young scientists and research scholars for innovative research in plant science at Amity University, Rajasthan. Sir's research contributions has also been recognized by many prestigious fellowships and awards. Some of them are as follows. He is the Fellow National Academy of Sciences, Fellow Biotech Research Society, Fellow Indian Botanical Society. Sir has received Young Scientist Award by Indian Science Congress Association, Zahoor Qasim Gold Medal by the Society of Biosciences. He is also the member of the New York Academy of Sciences. He is also the fellow member Research Journal of Biotechnology. He has received Fellowship Award of the Academy of Innovative Research, Indian National Science Academy nomination under Bilateral International Exchange Program to visit Germany. There is also the mentor of DST Inspire program since 2011. Distinguished Scientist Award Sir received in the year 2013 by Society for Plant Research. He is also the fellow, the Indian Society of Genetics, Biotech Research and Development. Sir has got Lifetime Achievement Award by the Society for Science and Social Development, Indian National Science Academy nomination under Bilateral International Exchange Program to visit Hungary. He's also received H.S. Srivastava Memorial Award in 2016 by the Society for Plant Research, Professor B.M. Johari Memorial Award 2022 by Society for Plant Research, Professor K.G. Mukherjee Lifetime Achievement Award 2025, a very recent achievement by the Society for Plant Research. Sir has also an extensive international research experience as a visiting scientist, a professor at many institutions, including the University of Cologne, Germany, TU Darmstadt, Germany, University of Central Florida, USA, Institute of Bioresources, Japan, Max Planck Institute, Cologne, Germany, visiting professor, Shanghai Polytechnic University, China, visiting professor, Biological Research Center, Center of Excellence of European Union, Hungarian Academy of Sciences, Hungary, visiting professor, School of Environment and Material Engineering, Shanghai Polytechnic University, and many more. Sir has chaired many sessions and has also delivered over 150 invited and inaugural lead lectures in various symposia, conferences in India and abroad, including Spain, Portugal, UK, Italy, China, Japan, USA, Hungary, and Germany. Sir has got a highly rich administrative experience of more than 29 years as the department's chair and dean, Faculty of Science and Technology, Dean Academics, and Dean Research. With these few words, I now request Professor Vinay Sharma sir to kindly deliver his session.
Full screen options. So, all right, so we are here back again, and a very, very warm welcome to all the participants. And a very warm good afternoon. In fact, I'm told that I have approximately 40 or 45 minutes or so for this section. And obviously, it's such a comprehensive, huge lecture that all aspects of it cannot naturally be covered within a short span of 40 or 45 minutes. But I shall try to cover more important things. I'll skip many of the slides and would try to convey the points which are absolutely important, very, very important points. We are all aware that why do we write research publications? They are validating our data. They are, allowing us to take priority over the published work. If we have published, then nobody else can take the priority over that. So it's validation of our data. It's giving us priority. It's giving us the proper publicity over the entire, contemporary people who are working in that field. So we have to publish. If we have to naturally work in any area, in any subject, we have to publish because publication is dissemination of the know-how or the knowledge that we have, and that can be used by the others, as well as it shows our academic credentials. We have 50,000 plus peer-reviewed journals which are available under different platforms, where, of course, we would like to publish. So if we are clear that why we publish, the indicator of scholarly contributions, it's also a prerequisite for grant funding, because if you are not publishing, then let's not hope that you will get a R&D project, because their projects are based on what you have done in the past. And if there is no record of your proven credentials in that area, you will not be able to get R&D projects. So developing, of course, your own reputation, national, global reputation, personal contact, career progression, and of course, academic obligation to share with what we are doing to the other scientific or the other community in whatever subjects we are doing. From the perspective of university, the publications are also important for different kinds of rankings, accreditations, as well as the global rankings, US rankings, Times Higher Education ranking. So, they are important, and publications in different platforms may constitute approximately 20 to 30% of the total weightage by the criteria of any accreditation or the ranking agency. So they are important and they complement each other. Another thing that we have to learn is that they are not in conflict with each other. They complement each other, because sometimes it's a misunderstood that those who do very good teaching, they may not be able to do good research, and vice versa. That's not really true. They are essentially complementing, because you're advancing your knowledge in that area, and that knowledge can naturally be imparted in the classroom. You can share, you can be more logical also in your class. You can teach in a different way, in a more logical way, telling the background of the entire experiment that was done in order to arrive at some conclusion. So our teaching becomes different when we are good in research as well, because that research input essentially enriches our teaching as well. And a famous quote from Dr. Kalam also, that the best research will give the best teaching, and the best teaching will give the best research. So they are complementary. Now, more important, if we talk in terms of research publications, what is our output? We rank 4th globally in terms of the numbers. However, if we talk of the citations, that what kind of impact your research is carrying, we are poor 9th. So there's a huge gap. So the major reason for that gap is that there is more emphasis on quantity and less emphasis on what we are publishing. Because if we are publishing good, naturally our research publication would attract the attention of the others and they would cite your research. So, citation, which is one of the criteria of quality, we are rank lined, and otherwise we are in terms of quantity, we are forcing a huge gap. So, essentially, we have to address that how to write quality research papers. Different types. Essentially, the publications could be of different types. Original research articles is the main core publication, core research publications, but other than that, there could be short communications. Short communications essentially imply that when you have got a very, very important data and you cannot wait because somebody else will take priority, then you are allowed to communicate that important contribution of yours in the form of short communication. So it could be a breakthrough, and therefore that would, and you want to take priority, so therefore that will come in the form of a short communication. Review articles, you know that you have reviewed a particular area, a topic, where the information is not available, or you are providing your own updates. So review articles are there, reports or case studies, especially management. It applies more in management. We have case studies, book chapters, conference proceedings. There are also correspondence or letters, which sometimes the journals will publish, that you want to draw attention to some kind of anomaly in a particular area, and therefore you, through correspondence or through letters, you want to they are published as correspondence or letter in the journals. So you can do that also, but that's not a standard research publication or comments. Now, where do we publish it? In fact, as I emphasized in my opening remarks as well, whether you love it or hate it now, the standard indexing has to be there. You have to publish, otherwise your publications are useless. They are not counted in your API, in your any standard platform. If they are not, even now UGC care is abolished, 2024, October 2024. So we do not have UGC care also. And if you're published, if your publications are in non-indexed journals, then nobody's bothered about that. You do not get any credit for it. So we have to really look that we publish only in authorized databases, standard databases of repute. Predatory and fake clone journals are not acceptable. Now that's a altogether different story that requires, because 40-45 minutes, although I can tell you something about that in this lecture as well, but that will take a long time. But that is very, very important these days, because predatory or clone journals, they are mushroom in all areas. And incidentally, because I also happen to be the director of the PhD program, I know that how the PhD scholars are trapped into it. They are paid somewhere, and on the promises that just the journal is Scopus index, but the indexing is not found. And that's not found because the journal was a clone journal. It was a fabricated website, look-alike website, or the journal was doing something on payment basis and cleverly manipulating the website. So what happens is that once your journal, once your research paper has been accepted there and you come to know and you paid it, if you come to know that it was not a proper journal and if you want to withdraw it, then they will not even let you withdraw it. Because I know the cases where even somebody requested that now I want to withdraw. Even after payment, they will say that you have to pay the withdrawal because they know that you are trapped now and you cannot publish this elsewhere, otherwise you are caught in plagiarism. So it's a very, very, one has to be very, very careful about all this, because even now, many learned, many knowledgeable researchers are falling prey to their publications in predatory or clone journals. Will not take much time over this. So Web of Science is a standard, which is standard indexing, which is also acceptable. Web of Science is, it comes in higher ranking, it comes in Times Higher Education ranking, also NAC. So it's included everywhere. So it is standard, and they have a huge database. There is again little misunderstanding that we have Science Citation Index, SCI. SCI used to exist earlier, now it has been merged under Web of Science. So we do not really have SCI. SCI has been merged. Altogether, it's called as Web of Science. It's called as SCI expanded, SCIE. And then also in social sciences, we have in also arts and humanities citation index, we have a huge database, very big database, emerging sources citation index. And we have approximately 9,000 journals and SSCI with over 3,400 journals. So huge database. Scopus is another standard benchmark, which is again counted everywhere. So it's by Elsevier, and again, it's a huge database, some 28,000 of the peer-reviewed journals which are covered under the Scopus database. Now, so how another very important parameter is the impact factor. Your research, that what is the impact factor of the research on? Now, there is a way to calculate this, and the impact factor is done by Clarivate Analytics, and they use the Web of Science server because they use database, so they are using WS server for coming out with the impact factor of the journal. So it's understood that higher the impact factor, better is the journal. So for instance, now we 2026. So how we calculate 2026? So 2024-25, I published something in 2023. So 2024-25, how many citations have come for that journal? Divided by the total number of publications which appeared in that. So number of citations divided by the number of the volumes that have come out. So that way we calculate impact factor. So in any given year, to repeat of what I have said, 2-year journal impact factor is the ratio between the number of citations received in that year for publication in that journal that were published in 2 preceding years and the total number of citable items. So supposing a journal has published 100 citable items in 2 years and it attracted a total citation of 1,000, so impact factor becomes 10. So, but that is not the only matrix. There is now also site score, although it is not the standard, but Elsevier has come out with site score because the impact factor was not theirs. So they thought that they will come out with their own. And site score is essentially the same thing for 3 years. So they take the data for 3 years, and rest of the method is the same. So there is site score also because you come across in Elsevier journals, you always come across that they've given you the site score as well. And then there is another one SNP term which is used, which is subject based, that how many citations in that subject. So it is more subject specific. So a lot of terms have come, but what really matters happens to be the primarily indexed in Scopus, in Web of Science, and then the impact factor standard, WS impact factor, not other impact factors, because such a lot of misleading information is given by the journals, because on their web page, journals will write in order to attract publications, they will write on their journal page that index Copernicus factor, journal impact factor, they come out with so many misleading impact factors, but they are not really true impact factors. You have to go by that list only, and that is the standard norm. For that only you get the credit, you do not get the credit for the others. Because again, in my experience, many scholars approach me and said, look here, it's the impact factor given. Then I tell them, no, it's not the Clarivate impact factor. This will not be counted. It's something else. So again, there is a lot of kind of misleading information, forgery kind of thing to attract people that they publish their research in their journals. H index again is the buzzword these days. What is the H index? People ask, what is your H index? So H index is again the number of publications that have been cited as many times. So supposing if it is 15, so 15 publications has been cited 15 times, H index is 15. Simple. Number of publications cited as many times. So supposing H index, my H index is 49. So if it is 49, that means I have 49 research papers which have been cited at least 49 or more than 49 times. That's it. I-10, the number of papers which have been cited more than 10 times, it becomes I-10. So if I have a I-10 of 191, and that means my 191 papers have been cited more than 10 times. So it's a simple. It's started by Google. This I-10 is a Google kind of proprietary. They write I-10. G index is again emphasizing on heavyweight papers. Supposing G index of 10 indicates that 10 papers have been cited more than 10 times. So it becomes G index. But most popular, of course, happen to be the H index and the I-10 index. Another term which is being used in this context is cited half-life. Essentially, for how many period, for what duration my paper has survived. So if cited half-life is long, that means my paper has sustained over a period of time. It has been cited over the years. If cited half-life is short, that means it reached a peak very soon and then declined. So cited half-life indicates that for what duration the paper, for example, those who have the biological sciences or the chemistry background they know Laurie's paper, 1951, still it is being used. So cited half-life is very long. Altmetrics, in fact, we have a lecture also on this. If you go through the schedule, you'll find we have a lecture. So this is, is the social media era. So again, you have to be social media savvy. If you are not, then again, you lose on certain things. So essentially, it's counting your presence on different kind of social platforms, on your blogs, on even social media like, LinkedIn, Facebook, etc. And how many times your research has been talked about. So this Altmetrics is actually a company which gives the reports regarding your Altmetrics report, which is based on how many times, how popular your research is. And sometimes, our HR manager is sitting here, they would like to make use of the opportunity when they want to recruit somebody. They would like to know that what is the Altmetrics of that person. Because that knows that how important, is the science as well as how, active that person has been on different platforms. Now, coming to the publication aspect of it. So we have to, first point, we have to publish a standard. Otherwise, there is no point publishing. That we have to be very clear because you are wasting, this will not be counted on any platform. So you have to be very careful. Let's publish WAS or Scopus. These are the two indices which are available today. So once having gone through this criteria, then again, Scopus, Web of Science. Again, you have tens of thousands of journals. So question, which journal to choose? So that is the point. Now that decision, of course, has to be taken before you start drafting. Not that you've written everything and then you think which journal should I publish. You think about that my research, my data, this kind of research, where it can be suitably published. So based on that, make a search, try to find a suitable journal. So reputation indexing is one which I already pointed out. Then again, it's again very important, subscription mode or open access. Because what is happening is that these days, more and more journals are getting open access. You find, a lot of journals. In fact, I would say now, if you visit the website of LSV, majority of the journals are open access. They don't publish free at all. Then you have the open choice category where you can make a choice that you are going in for free access, that is subscription mode, or you are going for the paid version. And that's all. There are, I don't know whether there are any 100% subscription-based journals. So either open choice or open access. So again, it's an important thing. You have to see your budget. You have to see that where the funds will be raised if you have to pay the ABC, etc. So it's a big question. So based on this as well, you have to decide that which mode you want to go in. Timelines is again important because journals these days highly competitive times because they have to write on their web page that when the first decision will be made, when the second communication will be made after reviewing, etc., etc. So if you try to send your manuscript in a journal which takes 2 months even to communicate the first decision, then you are in deep trouble. And after 2 months, they may say that we have not found it suitably. It's not even reviewed because that's the first decision. So you have to be very critically examine that How much, what is the timeline? Some journals within 48 hours, 72 hours, so going for that. So at least you know the decision, you can communicate to the others, not after 2 months or 3 months that you come to know that now it's not being processed, even processed, what to talk about reviewing. So you have to look for journals based on cited references. Journals have to be commensurate because you know what kind of research you have done, what kind of data is available, so they will be commensurate with the data, etc. that is available at your end. So depending upon going for very, very high impact factors, you know your data quality is not so high. So you have to make all these decisions, peer suggestions, and conflicts of interest. You cannot go in for journals where, for instance, there is a direct conflict of interest in terms of some of your relations sitting in that editorial board, etc., etc. So I'll dwell upon that a little bit also. So that is also a consideration. So these days, you know, many publishing houses, they offer the journal finder services. Elsewhere, Taylor and Francis, Springer, that you put your abstract along with the keywords or with the title, and they will suggest you certain journals. So you can make use of that also. But if you are more knowledgeable, then you know you have to, that may not merely be sufficient, you know, because that list is not so comprehensive, and the list is not so specific also, because sometimes they will come out with the reports which and will suggest the journals which are not at all concerned with this. So all that happens, you need to be quite careful. But I thought that you should know this, that this kind of service is also available free of cost. The next thing, having arrived at a suitable choice, the next thing that you do is that you have to look for the guidelines very, very carefully, because they are not going to, even if there is a slide, because they are not sitting there to accept your paper, they are sitting there to reject your paper. That's the mindset. So if they find that you have not followed any of the guidelines, they will immediately return. So please carefully go through these guidelines. Your paper should not be rejected on flimsy ground. It's something you did not overlap. So please comply totally 100%. What are different sections? What is the word count? Total word count. There could be limitations of the word count. Different journals, sometimes 10,000 words. I mean, you have to see. Sometimes there may not be any word limit also. It all depends. What kind of filing which you have to upload, whether it is format, is a Word file, PDF, layout, spacing, margins, you know, numbers, font size, etc., etc. You look each and everything. You have to also look for whether it is asking for in-text citations or it is asking for merely the numbers, serial numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is again important. Tables, figures, graphs, etc. What size, what resolution, what, you know, all these guidelines will be there. And sometimes the journals ask you to name a few reviewers also. It may be sometimes may not be compulsory, sometimes it's compulsory also. So again, you have to know that what kind of, you know, if it is required, you have to give the names of the reviewers for that. Just scientific reports, top page, submission guidelines, you know, so many things are there, format of articles, abstract, keywords, you know, manuscript, cover letter, it's a checklist. So you have to carefully go through each and every point of the checklist, comply 100%. Do not leave any chance that your manuscript is returned on one of the flimsy grounds, you know. So what are the major sections now in a paper that we have embroidered structure? I'll not touch upon that because I think probably the next talk is going to be on that, embroidered structure or something like that. So that is a standard of any research paper is introduction, method, results and discussion. As a consensus, all journals will follow this structure, which is called as embroidered structure, introduction, what is the problem or the question, methods, results. I'll come to that later also. So let me come to the right side, title. What is the title? Sometimes some journals ask for the running title. Now, running title is usually short. Your title, for instance, if it is, let's say, you know, 20 words or 15 words or whatever, they may ask you to give a running title which is of 7 words or 8 words. Because the running title runs, the caption runs at the top of the page, on each page. the proper title will appear only once. So sometimes the journals ask for the running title. If it is 10-page paper, on each, the top of the page, running title is also running. So running title is usually shorter. Author's name and address, keywords, I'll deal with these again. So title, guidelines follow if any. Now this has to be very, very carefully drafted because this is the most important part. It can, attract the attention of the editor, it can attract the attention of the readers later as well. So title has to be very attractive, it must be carefully thought over, it should reflect of the research that you have done. It is of high importance, therefore read first. Incorporate keywords in title because keywords are there. If they are there in the title, this will be easily searched. So therefore your research, if somebody is looking for literature based on certain keywords, then your paper will be caught there. So keywords, proper keywords in that, keywords separately also. Describes main research, adequately reflective, specific, short, focused, attractive, impressive. Avoid abbreviations in the title. Standard rules. Authors. Standard again. First author is usually expected to be the main author, which the person, for instance, if I talk of the PhD scholar, then PhD scholars are expected to be the first author because they are the ones who have actually carried on the work or created the first draft also. At times, the first author could be the person who has created who wrote the entire manuscript, but generally communicating corresponding author who conceived the idea, supervisor or group leader, etc. So that person will be the communicating author, corresponding author, approval of final version. So this is the standard. And then rest of the co-authors, they are in the sequence of their contribution, generally speaking. That who contributed more, second author contributed less than first, and then following in that sequence. So co-author sequence commensurate with the work, and there is no requirement to give the authorships. If somebody has carried out the language check or the computer statistical analysis, so all that, authorship is not required. These are fringe work. And authorship is not, you can acknowledge, but authorship is not expected for this. Corresponding authors accountable ethical issues, accuracy, plagiarism, because they will send the editor would send the mail to the corresponding author for this and not to the other authors. For sample analysis, if you send a sample for some kind of analysis, then again authorship is not required. So eventually it has to be a joint decision who is going to be the first, second, third, blah, blah, blah author. So collectively that decision has to be arrived at. Abstract is then the second important part because please remember, whether you are subscriber to the journal, whether the journal is open access or not, abstract is always accessible. So it would be accessible to 100% of the people. So therefore abstract must be very, very carefully written. Abstract is the first document which is read first by the editor also before he takes a decision whether I should send it for review, etc. So abstract is very important. Again, I repeat, accessible to everybody, all kinds of authors. So it must be very carefully written. It should be reflective of your entire research work in that paper. So effective, concise, engaging, informative. Follow guidelines. If there is a page, there is sometimes word limit, etc., then you have to follow those guidelines. Accessible without payment, as I said, is a repeat, so everybody can access, represents the entire manuscript, includes everything, background, everything, background, methods, everything, little bit of everything. So abstract is reflective of the entire research, entire manuscript. And conclusions, generally citations are avoided in abstract. Citations are not given, generally speaking. These days, there are graphical abstracts, and they are becoming, more and more, especially in many standard journals. शुरू से मूव दिख रहा है तो ये इधर तो आ रहा है ऑफलाइन या ना ऑनलाइन नहीं आ रहा मिलेगा तो वहीं पर लगेगा उसमें। ये तो शुरू से ही जा रहा था क्या? So graphical abstracts, especially elsewhere journals, they ask for graphical abstracts. So you have to show certain figures and significantly increase the article visibility. Sometimes even Nature, etc. They ask for video also of your work. So you have to follow those standard guidelines for graphical abstracts. Keywords are again very important because based on the keyword search, your article will find visibility. So they should 4, 6, 8 follow the guidelines of the journal, depending upon, and because they will be indexed in the databases. Avoid repeating keywords which are already in the title. They are frequently used in the paper. Follow the guidelines 4 to 8, whatever. Introduction. Now that again is very, very important part. Introduction must clearly reflect 3 things. What is the background work, research that has been done there so far? Number 1. Number 2, where is the gap that you want to address? And third, your specific objectives addressing that gap or part of that gap. Very clear. If you are not able to clearly project your objectives, you lost the game. The introduction must be very crisp, very precise, must clearly come out with what you want to do. Otherwise, if you are confused, if you write, if the objectives, what you want to do is not clear, I don't think, then, God bless you. It has to be specifically come out. Editor will again check, what kind of introduction is there. So again, I repeat, what is the background available in that? Where are the gaps? And which gaps you want to address? 3 things must be clearly spelled out. That is justification leading your objectives. Methods. You have to write methods very clearly. They should be reproducible. And if you are adopting the method from a previously published data, again, reference should be given for that. If you have made modification, then write modified based on this. Whatever modifications are there, write them clearly. Most of the time, unfortunately, the methods are not reproducible. In a study that was done somewhere, I do not recall where, 70% of the workers, the researchers who wanted to reproduce a method which was given in a research paper failed to do it. So method should not be ambiguous. It should be perfect in all details. Even the instrument you have used, in the model that you have used, everything must clearly come out. In fact, one of the very important points of a testimonial recommendation letter, which especially if you are working foreign laboratory, reputed foreign laboratory, is that writing your person, your name, etc., that he or she is able to reproduce a method given in a research. That's a compliment. That's considered to be very big. That there is a literature, some method is there, and the researcher is able to reproduce that method in his or her own laboratory. So that is one of the testimonial points which is given. Is a very high rate of recommendation amongst other points that team worker, hard working, blah blah blah, innovative, and so on and so forth. One important point is this also. So here, method, so I've already pointed out, apply statistics also wherever necessary, and regulatory bodies, the Institutional Human Ethical Committee, or the Institutional Biosafety Committee, or Institutional Animal Ethical Committee. All those clearances, if they are required, then you have to give it. Otherwise, it will not be published. Results happen to be main body. You have to simply describe the results. That's all. In the results section, you describe the results, factual, no deviation, no discussion also. If the results and discussion sections are separate, then no discussion in the results, no references in the results. If they are combined, then the results as they come, you can then have a discussion over those results also. So otherwise, results factual, supplemented by proper figures. Data should be well organized in the form of figures, tables, and so on and so forth. And statistical significance in graphs and tables, all that should be clearly reflected. But otherwise, the result is a mere description of your data. Nothing more, nothing less. Full stop. Don't discuss, don't do anything there. Discussion is again very important. You have to be, in order to write a discussion of a manuscript, you have to be master. You must have years of experience of working in that area. Because if you write discussion part from a standpoint of your knowledge, deep knowledge, then your discussion would be better. So that's where you compare your results in the discussion section. You interpret your results. You compare results with the contemporary literature. Point out what is new, what are the novel findings, or where you agree, where you disagree, and the interpretations. But it should not be speculative. It should not be speculative. That is, it should be factual. It should be based on, actual work. Because I'll just 1 minute, because that's important. I'll give you one example which has happened with me. That I was working in Germany, and for almost 2 years we worked very hard. And very good manuscript was ready, 20-25 pages. And Dieter Straub, with whom I was doing phytochemistry, he has been phytochemistry, one of the editors of phytochemistry. So he thought that, all right, Professor Sharma, we will take this manuscript to another fellow who is again a top guy in that area. Let's see what comments he has to give. He was working in Max Planck in the same city in Cologne. So we took appointment, and then he said, okay, come. So we drove, and then we had a cup of coffee and gave the manuscript to him. He told me that come to me after a week. He gave us appointed time. In the acknowledgement, we have written that thanks are due to such and such, Jeffrey Shell was his name, to Jeffrey Shell for critically reviewing the manuscript. That's all. So after a week, we went there. So he said, fine, I have gone through your manuscript. Then he said, in discussion part, this sentence is speculative. It's not based on the factual data. It's guesswork. It's not science. It's not, you can try to conclude, but it's not based on firm conclusions, concrete data. And if you want to retain this sentence, then do these 2 more experiments. Or remove the sentence, second option. And third option, that neither you want to do the experiment, nor you want to remove the sentence, then please remove my name from the acknowledgement. So particular, about their own reputation, own recognition. So discussion, whatever work you are doing, it's after all a research. It should not be speculative, that little work and so many conclusions. Here and there you can publish, but if you talk of the good research journals, then I don't think they will pass that kind of discussion. So intensively knowledge-oriented, difficult section, main findings, new findings, comparison with existing work should be adequately supported by the data, presenting reasoning and new interpretations linked with objectives, introduction, hypothesis. Novel findings should be subject to proper logic as a strong experimental design, better and sensitive instrument, and so on. Proper citations, not leaving important studies of similar nature, limitation may be excluded. Okay, so I'll try to cut it short, it's getting prolonged. So discussion I have already explained. Conclusions, again, based on your work, firm conclusions. 2, 3, 4 sentences, that's all. Not a story there. Acknowledgements, support, financial support somebody, infrastructure support somebody if you use some laboratory, some instrument for reviewing the manuscript, the example which I gave. and anybody who has helped with your data analysis, statistical, that can come in acknowledgement, not as an author. Conflicts of interest, competing interest, that again is very important, because supposing if a company has funded me, private company has funded me to study the effect of electromagnetic radiations on human organs, for instance. So that means if I say that electromagnetic radiations are not at all causing any harm, because they gave me money. I mean, I may have drawn my honest conclusions, but that is a conflict of interest, and that has to be reported. That the work, the area where I worked, that area was funded by this company. That is one conflict of interest. So that is very important. So conflict of interest could be several types, relationship, etc. Also could be some very close friend of yours is an editor and so on and so forth. So all these things would matter. That your research is supporting somebody's research who is in your company, who is in that group or close allied company. Many things can happen. So that conflict of interest has to be declared, because many times we fail to understand that what we have to report in the conflict of interest, we just write that there is no conflict of interest. There may be. Supplementary materials, sometimes supplementary files are required, a lot of supporting data is required. So a lot of supporting data may not be accommodated in the main research paper, but has to be given in the form of a supplementary file. So many times you have to give the supplementary files, which are large files. Author's contribution, because these days each journals, they ask what is the contribution of each of the authors. That has to be specifically mentioned. It should not, who conceptualized the idea, who did the experimental designing, all those things. References, these days reference managers are available, but they have to be meticulously planned. They have to be very, very carefully written. So this is again important, and you should not commit any mistakes in references, because often it is irrelevant. In my experience, because I also edit the manuscript for a journal, so manuscript, the references are often the point where people are careless. That should not be. If I go back to, let's say, 20, 30 years, then one NIH director was demoted because their fund reference was wrongly cited. So they are so particular. Submission process, you have to see that what kind of the recommendations are, whether in the form of email, they will have to be uploaded, cover letter has to be there, what is the submission system. There has to be a strong cover letter also. We should highlight that this manuscript has not been submitted elsewhere. This manuscript is contains this, novelty or format or plagiarism labels, etc. It is not a duplicate submission. That same manuscript has been submitted elsewhere. So these, again, are the documents, are the points which should be given in the cover letter of that manuscript. Peer review, we know now that ultimately it is going to be sent to the reviewers for their comments, and reviewers could be different times, at different times single blind, where you do not know to whom it has gone, but the referee knows, reviewer knows that whose paper it is. Then double blind, that nobody knows, neither the author nor the reviewer, or it's an open review that everybody knows, and post publication. Again, there is an element of human bias. Supposing a research paper which has been sent by the authors from a almost unknown university. These are all documented studies. And a research paper sent by one of the topmost universities, authors there, Stanford or something like that. Same paper may or may not be rejected. So there is a human bias. Reviewers are biased by the institutional affiliation of the authors. Similarly, the reviewers can also be biased by the reputation of the author. It works both ways. So there are biases involved in the reviewing process, so that has to be kept in mind. Reasons for rejection: not within the scope, guidelines not followed, poor language, lacks novelty, inappropriate techniques, resubmission without addressing the editor's concern, approval by regulatory authorities. So all these points. Then you have to recheck, peer review, recheck after a few days, not immediately, because you may be there somewhat. So rest for 2-3 days. Strictly adhere to the guidelines, English language, grammar check, use of active voice preferred, meaningful and direct, avoid long sentences and paragraphs, reference check. Revise, humbly acknowledge the input suggestions by the editor and reviewers. Address all queries, irrespective whether you agree or not. And if you agree, then you say you have incorporated. And if you don't agree, then politely say that we do not agree for this. But respond to all queries. And then modifications done in the text of the manuscript. And then provide page number and, in the rebuttal, in the reviewer's response, it should be tabulated. 1, 2, 3, 4 like this, it should be tabulated. And in that response document, you should provide the page number and the line number where the modification has been made. That is important. So impact factor, this does it affect? I think we all know that it affects or not, so I'll not elaborate on that. This part I'll not take because of the lack of time. So I'll come to the last 3-4 slides now. This is important. Research misconduct, plagiarism, very strict rules are there now. Even the editor can, supposing if your paper has been found with a lot of plagiarism, then even the editor can write to you and with a copy to the university authority. Please take it from me. So you have to be very, very careful, because I've been part of certain committees as well, involving the authors from AUR. So this is a very, very important issue. No liberties, please, in relation to plagiarism. There are committees for that. So plagiarism, okay. Falsification, that you gave the wrong data, so not factual. Or fabricated, that you doctor some pictures. Could be, let's say, gel pictures, it could be other pictures. But you doctored it because you made so many different kinds of software is available now that you can doctor them, you can create them as per the suitability and of your results. Verbatim copying, paraphrasing, because there is a organization in Europe that now, for instance, these days AI is being used for paraphrasing. Now, what do we do in paraphrasing? Generally, we replace them by singular words or some sentence is modified. Now, they are working on that and they are able to catch it, whether it has been paraphrased using AI. Rise, increase, decline, decrease. They are able to catch all those things. That what do you do in paraphrase? So, you have to be very careful for that also. Self-plagiarism, that your own work, but without acknowledged, without giving the reference. Or mosaic, that you have collected it from different forms by different authors, put it together, but without acknowledging. Detection tools are very dicey. They are not perfect from checking the AI. That I must make it clear without taking much time on this. We have Authenticate, Turnitin, both are from the same company. Authenticate is somewhat better version. So you have a lot of consequences, loss of academic reputation, could be anything, including termination of services. So please take care of this. Withholding increments, termination, banned by funding agencies, banned by publishers, legal action leading even to jail. One example, probably you may be aware, I don't want to name here. Vice Chancellor of a very, very big university had to spend overnight in jail. Just 3-4 last slides about the AI, and that is over. So generative AI tools, which are powered by LLMs, they are capable of generating human-like text and impressive fidelity, accuracy, and creativity. In fact, now generative AI is, is evolved so well that you are not able to distinguish that whether it is human written or whether it is through generative AI. That's a big trouble. Generative AI's exceptional capability to assist with time-intensive tasks such as reviewing prior research and analyzing it has led to increased adoption driven by pressures of publishing Paris culture, environment. So there could be Although I'm not very comfortable with this, but nevertheless, there could be some legitimate disclosed uses of AI that you have used it only for grammar and language improvement. But please beware that you have put your data in public domain. It's not safe. It's gone from your hand. It's now public domain. Anybody can do it. Even the same tool which you have used for the correction of grammar, etc., may misuse it. Paraphrasing and restructuring, literature summarization, figure captioning and abstract drafting, reference management tools, they are standard. They can be, I think, used rather safely. So time saving, no doubt. So exhaustive collection and organization of resource material can now be completed in a matter of hours. So the tools to improve language, grammar, or structure are considered assistive AI tools and do not require disclosure. So limitations, AI can make mistakes, sometimes called hallucinations. Documented cases, for instance, ChatGPT provided the inaccurate statements within well-researched subject areas as well as full essays in topic areas where there was no research. It gave you references. References did not exist. So do not lie on it. You can be more trouble. You can actually spend more time than in order to know that whether it is correct or not. So it can lead to a lot of troubles. So fabricated citations, outdated or incorrect scientific information based on training data cutoff, because the example which I have experienced, Anthropic example. So where they got the trade from 2 of our books and the other hundreds of thousands of other books. They use that data in order to train. So that data has gone in public domain through the pirated books without giving any credit to any of the authors. Outdated or incorrect scientific information based on training data cutoffs, bias embedded in training data sets. Nobody is perfect because who is training the data set? Ultimately, the human beings. So are they so perfect? Data confidentiality that is breached because the moment you submit the unpublished data, then God bless you. Ethical concerns, mandatory disclosure, optional disclosure, unnecessary disclosure. So 3 categories used to establish, because research journals may ask you to do this, that whether you use AI data to establish research hypotheses, write portions of the manuscript, collect or analyze data, or generate figures or tables. Mandatory disclosure. Optional disclosure, AI is used for grammar correction, text refinement, or sentence restructuring, paraphrase. Unnecessary disclosure, AI is used solely for basic spell check or reference management. So consensus across all major publishers, Elsevier, Springer, Nature, Wiley, MDPI, Taylor & Francis, IEEE, and so on, AI cannot be an author. Disclose AI use, to what an extent you've used it, tool name, version, purpose, scope, give all those details. Human authors are fully accountable for all the contents, not AI. You can't say it's done by AI, not me. So detection tools, Turnitin, GPT-0, Originality AI, Authenticate. I have already told you the limitations of AI detection tools. They are not accurate because sometimes they give you, false positives that your own data, own unpublished data is recognized as the AI data and without giving any source out. They even is published. So till date, they are not so perfect. So sole reliance on detection tools is insufficient for editorial decision. So therefore, the editors don't take any decision based on AI similarity. It's all yet open. Because they know they have the pitfalls. They know the pitfalls of using the AI tools. So if they are not accurate, then why trouble the author? So to that extent, the editors as of now do not take any decision based on AI plagiarism. Ethical authorship and responsible disclosure remain essential. So future of AI, the last slide, I think. The writing performance of LLMs may reach a point where machine-generated text is virtually indistinguishable because all depends what kind of data is going there. Once upon a time, hundreds, thousands, and hundreds of thousands and millions. Like that it goes. So more data they have, it's likely that they get it more accurate. At least the chance of the false interpretations would be less. AI systems' performance and ethical implications must be evaluated and monitored on a regular basis. Because I am not able to catch it myself, despite a lot of experience. And the same thing happens with the journals also. They are not able to catch it, how to do about it. But many of the research journals, they are coming out with excellent AI tools. For example, for research analytics, Scopus AI has come out. Elsewhere, Psi value is there. Semantic Scholar, Elicite, Consensus, AI-powered literature survey. You can want to use literature survey, probably you can use. But do not copy that. And again, with a pinch of salt, because that literature survey, as I told you, references don't exist, but they have given. AlphaFold, DeepMind, the example which I gave in my address as well, Nobel Prize 2024. So it's based on the development which was called developed by Google DeepMind. AlphaFold was the name of the software, and they were able to predict the structure, 3D structure of the proteins, which was a puzzle for since the inception of science. That how to accurately fold, how to accurately predict the 3D structure of the proteins. You can come out with 10 different answers. Even, and if you talk of 3-4 years, decade ago, you could come out with 100 million possibilities. But gradually reduce, refine tools, 15, 20, but now accurate. It's because of development of that AlphaFold tool, Nobel Prize 2015. So the imperative, AI should augment, not replace scientific reasoning, critical thinking, and the accountability. I think that is all from my side.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot for-
पहले उसके पास आने मारा के
नाश्ता करिए ना
अरे यार क्या का नाश्ता
आएगी शायद
Questions, most welcome.
चल रहा है कि नहीं चल रहा है
छाछ का नोट नहीं
वो का दे रही मैं दे दूंगा बता दे दूंगा
कब दे देगा
कल दे दूंगा
मुझे पहले जानते मैं कुछ
इसका है क्या लेक्चर
चलेगा ना
बचा के
क्या नहीं
Sure. Please go ahead. Absolutely. In fact, that is what I pointed out, the pitfalls of AI. Because even if you are using grammar check, it has gone into public domain. Where is the guarantee that they will not breach the confidentiality clause? They can use it. AI. So that is what I am saying. It's showing AI generated because it has gone in public domain by somebody else. So therefore, the human written data, original in all respect, is interpreted as AI generated by AI detection tools for that reason. Yeah, I think, is it necessary for you to prove plagiarism? Or that AI generated plagiarism? But no, that's fine. But what I'm trying to know is that are they detecting?
Like that, and it is interpreted like that, and this word opening is so that English policy is translated, then accepted as sounding.
Yeah, because I mean, that is the pitfall which I was trying to point out, because the AI detection tools are not so accurate. They are not accurate. In fact, those who are from AUR know that we tried to implement it also for the PhD, but we did not succeed for this reason. Absolutely. But editors are not insisting that you have to. Are they return? Did they? No, did they asked for a certificate, but did they return your manuscript that it is?
Because of AI. But it was written study at their device was not written.
एक बार दिखा दीजिएगा. I also would like to know. Okay, any other point?
Online forum. So getting help to make graphs. Can we share data to AI?
The same problem, I think the question is that if we getting help to make the graphs, can we share the data to AI? So if you are using AI for generation of graphs, naturally you have to share the data. So there is a risk involved. Absolutely. We should not give. That's my opinion. Because I take all these things, I do not use AI at all. I do not use, in fact, even for sometimes, people are using for ordinary things also. That also is dangerous. Even drafting letters, blah, 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 so many things are happening. I would not recommend. Everything perfect. No, so many examples. For instance, now if something comes to me, if I am the reviewer, then I give it to AI, okay, 10 points, I ask AI 10.0. So even reviewing is not becoming reliable now. You can see when the comments come to you from the editor, then you can find out that it's AI generated comments which have been given by the reviewers. So editors are also, they are having a tough time. Okay. Reviewer is approving. So that is again should not be done.
All the research they are taking money and they are not taking any money to reviewer or they are not
So therefore, it's a very big problem these days to find reviewers first of all. If you ask the journal editors that what is your biggest problem, they will tell you that to find reviewers. Because reviewers, why they will work for free? They are not paid.
$4,000, $3,000.
Lot of money.
They are not being I think they don't use the data.
Yeah, absolutely. So my advice to the graphical data also is not to do it for AI from the online participants. It's a very good question. So I think we should refrain from doing it.
All the information is already available at search engines and AI detectors are readily using that. What is the significant approach to the trained detectors?
The trained detectors.
So again, this
All the information is already available. No, but they are getting more and more trained.
exactly. Exactly.
Because the information is now gradually uploaded to the online question, and there is a regular upgradation of the generative AI tools also. Because today, for instance, if we are working on 100,000 data sets, then tomorrow it is 500,000 and 500,000 or 1 million data sets and so on and so forth. So the information, it's likely that probably it will be accurate, but it all depends. Because Anthropic, the example which I gave, worked on 500,000 books, pirated, all pirated, without permission, taken from the public domain, and they trained their LLMs. Claude was the one for which this copyright infringement was done. So the information gradually gets more and more refined, and refined to the extent that Claude was used, as I read somewhere, that the Claude was used for making the pinpointed targets in Iran. So all that is very interesting. Okay, I think any other point? All right, so wonderful. Thanks a lot. I also enjoyed very good questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for the enriching session. We'll now take a short tea break of 5 minutes, and I will request everyone that please come after 5 minutes. Please ensure that you reach back after 5 minutes. Outlook में है।
ये इनका तो बंद कर, इनका तो बंद कर।
हाँ, करा था सर, फिर कुछ दिमाग का शायद
बाद में डिस्कनेक्ट हो तो
ऑनलाइन करके स्लाइड
बीच में देखिए ये बात
हमने बुलाया एक स्कॉलर बताया एक्सपेक्टेशन बना दी थी करीबन यार ये टीना बोलने भी लगेंगे उसी प्लेस के अंदर जब आए उसके पास शेयर आ गए कॉपी ऐसे पेशेंट इतना ब्रेक
अच्छा ये भी आपने
बार गड़बड़ हो रही थी कि मालूम पड़ा सर जो पढ़ा रहे थे वो दिख नहीं रहा था।
शेयर किया नहीं वैसे चालू हो गया।
क्या शेयर किया उन्होंने? शेयर नहीं किया।
कुछ नहीं
आप यहाँ पे ना किसी को, ये सब आईटी वाले थी ना, इनसे किसी को आईटी वाले को खड़े रहना पड़ेगा अभी क्या।
किया। हमारे मीटिंग में था वही दो टाइम दो लोग।
अच्छा,
सॉरी सर
और कोई नहीं था?
सभी का पेन ड्राइव में तकलीफ लग गई थी।
I once again welcome everyone, and we now move to our next expert session on redefining academic research writing in the era of AI. So, before inviting Dr. Rohit Jain sir, I would like to briefly introduce him. Dr. Rohit Jain is a distinguished academician and a researcher serving as an associate professor in the Department of Biosciences at Manipal University, Jaipur. His areas of expertise include plant physiology and biotechnology, analytical biochemistry, and advanced instrumental techniques. He is the principal investigator of the prestigious DST PERS project with a sanctioned grant of 10 crore, significantly enhancing the research infrastructure and promoting innovation at the university. He has also served for over 5 years as the Deputy Director Research in the Directorate of Research and as coordinator of the PhD program at Manipal University, Jaipur. Dr. Jain has published more than 50 research papers in reputed Scopus Index journals, garnering over 1,000 citations with an H index of 17, underscoring his strong research credentials and scientific impact. He has successfully guided 2 PhD scholars and continues to mentor postgraduate and undergraduate students in research methodology and experimental sciences. Sir is also the recipient of the Bharat Shiksha Gaurav Award in recognition of his academic excellence and contributions to higher education. His work emphasizes integrating modern biotechnological innovations with sustainable research practices to advance impactful scientific outcomes. So now I request Dr. Rohit Jain sir from Manipal Jaipur to kindly deliver his session. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, ma'am, for this kind introduction. My fellow colleagues, Dr. Anurag, and my batchmate, former batchmate, Dr. Kumar. So I start my lecture with one popular saying that one who do not write actually do not think. So that is important that we write every day. Most of the things have already been taught to you by Dr. Professor Vinay sir. I'll try to expand that also. So the topic is redefining academic research writing in the era of digital and AI transformation. Actually, what happens once you get the results? You are very happy. We have got good results. We have good plants growing in our culture chamber. We have good HPLs or whatever results. Then the real headache starts. And you write first draft of your manuscript. You give it to your guide. He is not agreeing. Then you write second draft. Then you write third draft. And for so many long time or so many drafts, once you and your supervisor is on same page, the journal rejects it. So it is very difficult. Actually, it is a task of headache, getting clear writing, which is clearly understood by the reviewers or the editors. So what we do and what are the general comments? General comments are poor English, poor resolution of figures, no scientific data analysis, right? Introduction is too long, abstract is too short. So what a researcher do, and what happens after so many drafts of that particular manuscript, we are not able to see our own mistakes in that paper. We think that hey, everything is okay, still I am not getting published. And what a good impact factor, what a good paper which we have aimed for around 10, 12 is ending at around 1 or 2 impact factor because of the time and time taken in the publishing. So here enters AI. So before that was there. On the left hand side, you can see that was the previous practice. That we get the results, then we had to collect all the papers previously published, get a printout or read it and make notes in the register or diary. Then we interpret the results and we collaborate these results with the previous findings. Then we write the tables, graphs, photo plates, etc. And finally, the similarity check. And then the document was finalized. Nowadays, what happens? You get the results, You put your results in some AI generative tool. It gives you the entire manuscript. Also, there is 0% similarity in terms of normal similarity checking. Yes, but the AI detection is 100% or somewhat 90%. So what we use some paraphrasing tools like Willbot. Again, then the paraphrasing is done, but AI detection is still there. So how to finalize that document in this particular AI era? That is our. So before that, the human AI collaboration actually is a creative input, and which gives you so many things or power to create your document whatever way you want. You train your AI generative tool in such a way that you give me this kind of result, it will produce that kind of result already. So it is very difficult nowadays, and these are the some of the tools which already sir has told you that you can take the help of these tools. But the issue is again the detection by the authenticate or Turnitin. So in this presentation, I have some case studies where the students also try to make fool of this system. They use different types, not the AI, but the students also use some of the tools, some of the fabrication tools, we can say falsification tools. So first, the AI revolution started with the generative AI tools. So there are some key benefits like improved writing quality, increased efficiency, self-regulated learning opportunity, etc. And ChatGPT, other similar programs becoming increasingly accessible. You can take the access of their annual subscription or monthly subscription at a nominal prices. Somewhat Perplexity, Gemini, they are almost free, ₹1 और आपके रिचार्ज के टाइम पर ही आपको दे देते हैं आजकल तो फ्री. So they are trying to make their business or whatever, but and you are bound to use these tools for a simple application. We are not writing this. We just put give me a application for 3 days of leave to my manager, and there is a whole document. So the key challenges are that while AI promises to streamline the writing process, the academic community must carefully navigate the balance between augmentation and dependency. So plagiarism is one of the concern. Then hallucination generating false information that happens quite a lot. You ask about something and the result is something else. Yesterday, before when I was preparing this presentation, I tried to make an example of this, and I wrote on the system on ChatGPT that give my supervisor is Professor S.L. Kothari. Those who don't know. So I just wrote on the ChatGPT, give me all the papers published by Professor Kothari from the span of 2001 to 2020, I think. So it said there are 140 papers published by Dr. Kothari. Then I gave the another command that enlist them as per the APA 7th. So only 10 papers came. Then again I trained him the generative tool that elaborate the list up to the 140 papers. It never came to that, even after half an hour of practice. And when I analyzed that papers, I was surprised that not Kumar sir's, not mine papers are there. No, not a single paper of both of us. Whereas out of these 140 papers, I think 30-40 papers are belonging to both of us. So that is only that the AI tools are not perfect in giving the informations. They just give something not appropriate for just sake of reply, what we can say. Then unclear authorship attribution, that is very important. Sometimes you write something about, you search about somatic embryogenesis, and the first name what we have is some scientist who prepared the media niche, I think. So, but it does not give that name. It gives another name which you have never heard of. So false information is happening nowadays. So there is an urgent need to clear institutional guidelines and journal policies which can govern healthy, effective AI in the scholarly work. And what the goal is integration of AI tools which eases communication, empowers authors, and promotes diversity and accessibility in the science. So these are the techniques like strategic outlining and structural planning. What Dr. Vinay sir has already told, intelligent drafting, advanced editing, then quality assurance. But the ethical uses are important for the particular tool. Transparency in the terms of that you have used some AI tool, then you have to disclose that to the particular whatever wherever you are submitting the paper. Maintain openness about how these tools contribute the idea generation or the result analysis. Then AI hallucinations. AI system generative public sounding but factually incorrect. So sometimes you need to check the facts in the earlier published data or earlier published book or research papers. Then verification of the references and citations, as I already said. This is very important because 80-90% citations of generated by these AI tools are not appropriate. They are missing something. They are not giving proper information about the volume, author, journal name, issues. Even if the DOI, you click on that DOI, that is leading to somewhere else. And the clear authorship attribution, it is also already clear that we cannot give authorship to that particular generative tool. So we have to make a disclaimer that we have used this particular tool. But ultimately, in my recommendation, you take the help of AI in generating languages, generating drafts, but you should write at your own. And it never happens. I did not find anything that if you write something and it is detected by AI or that similarity checking. I'll give you the examples. So this is the future of academic writing. That elevated focus, accelerated discovery, redefined communication, as already told, that the data set of the AI tools is increasing day by day, and the more the data set, more the accuracy they will have. So in 2022, yes, when the AI was first launched November 2021, I think, and it was only used for writing applications, writing letters. Now it is doing so many complex things that it can detect it can diagnose your disease on the basis of your symptoms. So we have gone so far, and there's much more to go. So I'm just coming towards the main part of this topic: case studies, similarity check. So you all know about the similarity check, that once we prepare a document, we put it into Turnitin, and that checks for the similarity among the database, right? And sometimes the question is that these are the common words. ये तो हम लिखेंगे ही. Why they are coming in this similarity search? Actually, Turnitin does not read that particular word. Turnitin reads the whole paragraph, and if it finds this similar type of paragraph somewhere else, then it forgets about 2-3 words only. So it is for sure that you have taken that particular paragraph from somewhere else and you have paraphrased it. If you write at your own, I am sure there is no plagiarism, there is no similarity. So this is the first example. Something you have written on the left side, and it is detected by the AI. The similarity is 0, but AI is 100%. So what we do, we use Quillbot for paraphrasing or even humanize. अभी तो आजकल ये humanization का और आने लगा है. So, and this particular tool humanizes or changes the language that it looks like that it is written by some human being. Still, what happens again when we put it on the generative Turnitin? It shows 1% similarity, but again, it is showing 84% detected that as AI. And interestingly, AI generated but rephrased 17%. So AI tools are smart, but the checking tools or Turnitin are more smart. They can detect your smartness, that you are paraphrasing, but it can detect this also. And these are real examples. They are not taken from any AI or AI tools. again, that particular, that thing, in some of the subjects, we take interviews from the renowned authors or renowned persons. So one of the student sent that particular thesis for me to check.
पूरा ही नहीं होगा, 2 जने बच रहे हैं, ये एक चल रहा है, अब इसके बाद में एक और है, पता कैसे होगा? कि संजय को बुला लेना बंद कर देगा यार, पूछ लो कर ले बात, क्या प्रोग्राम? हाँ यार 5-10 मिनट है यार, मामा करना बा, मेरी भी पीछा छूट जाए। संजय आ जाना, अगर 5 5:30 बजेंगे, ऐसे बोलते हैं।
All right, so we shall continue. So that student claimed that I have taken the interviews by my recorder only. The person was talking and I recorded, and then I paraphrased that on a tool type to save my timing of typing. यहाँ से भी जाएगा क्या?
आपके थोड़े चल रहा है।
Requesting the online joinees to switch off their mic, please.
अरे वो फैकल्टी डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम,
Please.
माइक ऑफ करो, सारी बातें आपकी सुनाई दे रही।
All right. So it never happens that you write something and it is rejected in similarity checking. I am doing this for last 20 years. Thanks to my supervisor, Professor Kuthari. He taught us very well that you should not take anything from internet or anything from the site or where. Never. You have to write, and for that he enabled a desktop computer for the scholars for the first time in the Department of Botany in the laboratory in long back 2005. So it is the practice of writing only that your work is never get plagiarized. So this part is actually, if you take help from some of the tools, even if for writing, dictation writing, then also it will take the chance of plagiarism or similarity. Now the case study, interesting case study, what students do during this AI era. So on the left hand side you have a paragraph, right? That paragraph is normally written in the normal English. You can find that highlighted but effective approach to regulating the fake, whatever it is. I have took this screenshot from some document. Now what happened when I was checking the similarity? It was 1%. So there was a suspicion that how come the 1% similarity? Similarity is not like thinking you have written an entire thesis and you have only 1%. That is suspicious, right? So actually, I was the deputy director research at Manipal University, Jaipur, and entire 38 departments used to send their thesis for me for this verification. So that's why I got these cases. It's not like I'm saying about something about any student particularly, but these are general cases. So what happens? You can see this particular. Just a minute. This particular O, right? And on the written on the blue one, that is normal Times New Roman. This one, this O and this O, both are different in their morphology. The O in the upper paragraph is actually somewhat more rounder than the lower one. The original Times New Roman says oval shaped O, right? And that is the key to remove the entire plagiarism from the thesis. So actually this O comes from a different kind of font. And that font is symbol. So a student or a whatever, a writer, what it does, Control H, replace the word, and word has a particular command to copy the previous text. So somewhere we insert a box in the symbol font and we copy it and replace the O's of the entire thesis with that particular symbol font and convert it into Times New Roman. So turn it and reads it as a box only. So spelling is broken. or your sentence is broken. And now the similarity is 0%. It looks like it is O, but it is not an O. So that is and that's why I wrote that particular message. To reduce plagiarism in the thesis, the candidate changed the letter O of the entire thesis into symbol square, which upon converting into symbol font looks exactly similar to the letter O of the Times New Roman. But they turn it and read it as a symbol, and the sentence is not flagged for plagiarism. So that was a very interesting case. Again, second one, ये देखिए ये जो O है, अगर इसको हम सिंबल में डालते हैं तो ये डिब्बा बन जाता है, और इसको जब वापस टाइम न्यू रोमन में डालेंगे तो वापस बोला O बन जाएगा. So that O is difficult to catch. It is only when you have to change this the symbol, the font to symbol. तो उस पूरी थीसिस में सब कुछ लिखा हुआ है टाइम्स न्यू रोमन में, लेकिन ये O सिंबल में लिखा हुआ है. They are not converting it. It is not converted to the type as this. I'll show this to you, the word file. अगर आप चाहेंगे तो मैं दिखाता हूँ कैसे होता है. तो गैप तो आप स्पेस देंगे तब गैप आएगा ना. ये डिब्बा सिंबल फॉन्ट में, सॉरी ये डिब्बा टाइम्स न्यू रोमन में, इसको रिप्लेस जब इसको सिंबल फॉन्ट में डालते हैं तो ये वैसा ही O बनाता है जैसा टाइम्स न्यू रोमन का O होता है. तो पढ़ने वाले को ये लगता है कि it is O actually, but Times New Roman and the symbol font both are feed in this Turnitin memory. It knows what is symbol, what is letter. So here the sentence is broken and there is no flag. Another case, this, right? So this was a thesis from somewhere. Actually, I got many of the consultancies, many of these from different parts of Rajasthan, all the universities. The students send me their thesis for check. But this is an interesting case. The transition from higher education to employment. Some paragraph was written here, and that was normal. Okay, you cannot find anything suspicious in this paragraph if you write carefully with a lens only. Accidentally, I used only this. I selected this topic क्योंकि इसमें भी वही प्रॉब्लम थी, सिमिलरिटी 1% थी. आज की थीसिस 1% सिमिलरिटी इज नॉट डाइजेस्टेबल. सो व्हाट आई डिड एक्सीडेंटली, आई कॉपीड दिस एंड पेस्ट इट ऑन द वर्ड. नाउ यू सी all the O's are replaced with a question mark. Right? The transition from higher education, अब इसको नीचे जाके पढ़िए, ट्रांजिशन में O गायब है, फ्रॉम में O गायब है, एजुकेशन में O गायब है, and Turnitin again reads it as a normal text. So it is not like that AI, we are smart already, we do not need any AI. Students are already smart, even smarter than their supervisor. वो नहीं पकड़ पाते इन सब चीजों को. यार मुझे लगता है सर मैंने एक और नया तरीका बता दिया. Copy paste and ये टाइम्स न्यू रोमन ही है सर. सर ये जो O है ना, ये दूसरे फॉन्ट में लिखा हुआ है, और जब आप किसी भी फॉन्ट को यूनिकोड कन्वर्ट से कन्वर्ट करते हैं पीडीएफ में, तो वो दिखाई कुछ और दे रहा है, उसके पीछे की फीलिंग्स कुछ और है. ये यूनिकोड कन्वर्टर एक होता है. सो यू एक्चुअली इन दिस इंडियन सिस्टम, व्हाट आई कैन टेल यू, in the Microsoft, 90% of the computers are from Microsoft, and Microsoft has developed specific Devanagari font for Indian use, and our English is also in Devanagari, right? If you download that package of Devanagari that contains English also, so our English reads our Hindi. They are correlated. That's why this problem is coming. कि एक फॉन्ट में कुछ लेटर किसी और तरीके से लिखा हुआ है दूसरे में. सो दिस इज द वर्क ऑफ द पर्सन्स who are writing, who are getting these, who are giving these writing services. There are many services nowadays. I get many phone calls for thesis writing, and so what they are doing? They are doing 10 days, 15 days thesis writing, not possible. But this is the way they are doing this. Once I tell the student that there is a 50% plague, अगले एक घंटे बाद जो उसकी thesis आती है उसमें पता चलता है 1% plague था. Not possible to remove the plague so early. So these are the tools students use. So I advise all the supervisors to check carefully. Now, in the end, just I've gone through one book from Joseph Phillips. He written this book style, and it gives you the means of writing or in different styles. So he has given the 10 important rules for writing coherently, like focus on the reader, be concise, emphasize on the subject, use active voice. That is important. Nowadays, many of the people are using indirect speech or the passive voice, which make the sentencing difficult. But if you use simple, short, and active voice, then it is okay to read and understand also. Then keep sentences and paragraphs unified. Choose strong verbs, and so and you can read this, or I can give you the presentation. And the sentence from this Joseph sir, Professor Emeritus at the University of Chicago. The goal of academic writing is to communicate ideas effectively, not to impress the vocabulary. So I give you the example of this that is completely different from this entire talk, that what this line means. So long back, this sentence is of around 20 years older and told by our honorable supervisor, Professor Kothari sir, when he was the director of Center for Convergent Technologies, and the concept of technologies was, I am fortunate that I had the sentence that now the first paragraph is one sentence, second paragraph is one sentence. Earlier I told that you keep it simple. It is simple, and you can understand every word, but in a way it is complex that it 7 or 8 line paragraph is only one sentence. So I request you to write, or I can read. What is required presently is to develop such human resource who understand multiple fields in depth, and one who can intelligently work to integrate them for a common goal, which may be to solve a particular problem, or to innovate and improvise the existing tool, or to develop altogether a new product, or to address a fundamental scientific issue such as functioning of the life itself, or how the human brain functions, or how do we develop cognition, or what is consciousness, and many such fundamental questions which an expert of any particular field faces every day, but finds no clues or have deficiency due to the lack of the knowledge of other fields. Although solutions might come from other branches of science and technology, provided one has some in-depth knowledge of the later. So I believe this line is enough to understand the concept of convergence. So that line is beautifully drafted by sir, and this says everything about writing. That you think and then write. You don't copy and paste. All right, thank you. The next part of the presentation will be given by Dr. Anurag, where he will tell you about the journals, predatory clone journals, etc. Thank you. Any questions?
You can ask the question in chat box, or you can raise your hand. Thank you so much, sir, for such an insightful and thought-provoking session, and accepting our invitation on such a short notice. Now I would like to invite Dr. Anurag Sharma. We will now proceed to the next session, Evolving Prerogatives in Academic Publishing, Current Trends in Future Direction. Dr. Anurag Sharma is an associate professor in Department of Bioscience at Manipal University, Jaipur, where he has joined in June 2025. He served as assistant professor, later as associate professor at NITTE, deemed to be university, from 2016 to 2020. I would also like, as a token of appreciation, I would request Professor S.L. Kothari sir to present a memento to Dr. Rohit Jain and Dr. Anurag first before this session.
Then my job is finished.
No. Session with us.
Okay, so okay, so thank you the organizing committee, Dr. Arpit, calling repeatedly, and we got late also. So sorry for that. So already Dr. Rohit already started how to fool the fool the journals using all these tricks. But as personally, it will not go for long because journal will definitely they will come with some type of software which they can detect. So if you think about, so I am here, I am talking about the journals, how they evolved and where we are right now. So first journal which came, scientific journal in around 1600. First journal, which is this French journal of France, and then after journal of philosophical connection. So these were the first journals which was started around 1600. So this is a transition between the handmade manuscript to the AI assisted polished manuscript. So this is a huge gap. And if you see the era before 1970s, where internet was not popular, it was all handwritten. I heard from my supervisor, they told they had to write the whole manuscript and they had to put all the graph and they had to send by post. And then the journal will send the acknowledgement. Okay, we have received this thing. So and that time, this thesis used to take like 5 years, 8 years, 9 years, like PhD. And they only hardly published 2 papers, hardly 2 papers. And then when we were doing the PhD, when we asked, we only have the 2 papers. 2 papers you have. I only had 1 paper doing my PhD. So I mean, this is entirely changed this thing. But the problem is this: if you, because I think these are the students, and we all, I think we did PhD around 2012, 13. I think that era we only we had. And if you see, as Dr. Rohit mentioned in 2021 that chat that all these AI tools came. So in 5 years, all the things are rapidly changing. So we learned that thing also. Now we are struggling with this. Now we are struggling with this. All these things also. We have to learn every time, not the students. The student only have to learn the current things, but they don't know how to do that. Okay. So coming on the point. So this was like first journals which they have started, and in 18th century,
Actually, the PPT is not visible.
Now you will. So I don't need to go.
No, yes, you can do it.
So around 18 or 1900 century, the number of journals have emerged a lot. So originality of the research came, and structured manuscript came, like introduction and introduction methods, and the peer review started in 18th and the 19th century. Before that, it was not. Before that, how they have to send their note and they have to send to their friends. And when they made in the conference, then only they shared their research. It was like this. So 18th and 19th century, it was like this. But 20th century, the main problem for us, like English as a language of science. This become like if you don't know English, you don't know the science. They don't know about these things. But this is, and you will not believe, this is critically before 1970s, Russians are the best scientists. All the generals are in Russians. But the US and all the what they all killed all these Russian generals and they make the English is a language of science. If we don't know English, we don't know science. This we are all Russian generals, Russian science, they are all colored. So we are living in this era, so we have to learn. So this is the things how it evolved. If you see from this picture to this picture, transition from the print to electronic publication to the discovery of research and accessibility. So this is the things which happen, and these two meetings happened in 2002 and 2003. Budapest and Batista, some group of people they met and they suggested the science should be for everyone. There should not be any hinder for it. We should not pay for any science. Reader should have freely accessible all the science. So this they have this thinking they have developed in 2002 and 2003. After then, publishing group started to take the money because they have their own they have their own expenditure and all these things. But do you believe elsewhere is a company which have equally turned over like Google turnover? It's like a company. I have searched this thing as a company and which have the similar type of turnover like Google and all this big company. So they are just a profit making machine. They are not paying us. They are just taking money from the and we have to arrange money for our research and then we have to arrange money to publish that research also. So we are not benefiting anything. So this is going on. So like this type of I think you all have seen all these things: green open access, gold open access, diamond open access, hybrid open access, and bronze open access. And I'm sure hybrid open access we will not see in future after down the line 5 years from here. Because still there are some journals, they are following this hybrid. Otherwise, mostly journals are like we have to pay. So this is the emerging trend: open science, open access. We have to publish, then we have to pay. Simple. And we have to arrange the money. So this is the trend changing where the science is, because science is what? We have to do the research and we have to just to give our information to the audience. So we can give the free. But now if you're giving the information, you have to pay for that. That's the irony thing. If you want to give information, you have to pay first. Whether they like or don't like, this is a different matter. You have to pay first. So, but yes, we have to accept this thing. We are in the open access era. So we have to have the money for that. And you will not believe I am editor of 3-4 journals, which are already like open access journal. And I am reviewing 2 to 3 manuscripts in a month. And I told them, what is my benefit for that? Because you are getting experience. And you are getting knowledge. I don't want knowledge. Then here, what you want, sir? At least one paper you have to free, one APC charges for me once in a year. So one paper in a year. No, sir. They didn't agree. This is one case. Second case, special issues. Frontiers and all these journals, they are publishing special issues. They will invite you. They will tell, but when you ask for the APC, they will not. And they are earning money. Like for one paper, $3,000, $4,000. What is going? So this era, we have to, I don't know how it will break, but it should break. I read one paper in Nature where they yes, yes, for MDPI and Frontier. Sir, for that you have to review at least 30 manuscripts. 30 manuscripts you have to review, then you will get 3,000 that paper. 30 and 30 manuscripts they will send in 2 to 3 years. That's not this thing. There is one scientist, I don't know if you heard, Professor S.C. Lakhotia, Banaras Hindu University. He is against of this. So he's telling, please publish in the Indian journals like Current Science and all these things. Irony is this: they are taking 1 year. They are taking 1 year, 2 years to review the book. So who will publish in Current Science and all this? And all this, and they the main problem is all these Indian scientists. I know him. He's not good. He's not good. So they will reject the paper out. They will keep the paper for 1 year. After then they will reject. So this is also going in our country also. So we are not encouraging to publish our own research to our Indian journal. And Current Science is really a very good journal, if you say. Okay, so preprint started to come. That I like this. Preprints like Biorex and all these things, you have seen this thing. So they are not charging anything. So if you see this process, this one, once manuscript is ready, it will go to the journal, editor, reviewer, again change, and again it will publish. It will take 6 to 8 months cycle. But if you publish this preprint in Biorex, they will accept as it is 3 to 5 days. So your information is online. Problem is that that manuscript is not peer reviewed. That's the problem. Whatever data we are giving, this is correct or not, because no one is going to peer review. That's the problem. But yes, this is one of the platform where we can publish our data immediately. And this is this thing also no one can publish also later because we are already published, so we can claim this is our data. So this practices people are doing. If someone getting good result, they are just putting on the Biorex. And after then, when they will publish, then they will link that data to this. So this is a new trend where preprints and rapid sharing is started. But the problem is peer review risk and misleading results are there, which is really because no one is going to review this thing. Yes, this is DIE initiatives, which is diversity, equity, and inclusion. How many you people agree these like Asian countries or European countries, US, UK, when you send a paper from the India, same paper if you send from the Europe or US, the chances of accepting how much? Definitely. So now they are going to change this. This is the agenda. They have to change this thing, diversity. They have to give the equal platform to all. Do you know how many science papers from India last 50 years? How many papers came in science or nature? You will shock. Not even 50. Not even 50. Combined nature and science. Not even 50 papers we have. We can like once like 10 years back 1% publish in Cell or Science. We are not publishing because they are not accepting, because they think like this type of country they don't do the good science, or there is a lobby there, but they don't want to push our science too. And the same person, if they are publishing from USA or UK, the paper is accepted. Paper is accepted. So this is the things which is definitely challenge, not from now. It was before also, but now people are thinking for this. Yes, alternative metrics, as sir already told, metrics like edge index, G index, I10, and all these things. The thing is, when we publish the paper, edge index will come like it will take years to come. Okay, then how I will judge you? Then they started to new method to publish the data in online platform, Facebook, LinkedIn, and how many likes are coming, and how based on that they are judging your this thing. But I don't believe in this online platforms and all that they will give you the correct because they mislead. If I am putting something in LinkedIn, my all friends will like it. It doesn't mean my research is good. But how many times I am cited, that is the best thing. It happens. But people are changing this thing. But I don't think so. It will work for the future. But this is the trend. People are doing this thing. And yes, this is artificial intelligence in journals. They are taking the papers. They are checking the search code Grammarly, and they are checking the plagiarism. They are using AI to find the reviewers. So this is helpful to find the reviewers using. So they just put the manuscript and they will find the 10 reviewers are there. So and you will not believe they will tell also whether this reviewer is free or not, because they link there elsewhere everything and they will tell whether this reviewer is free or not. And after that they will and this is also help to reviewer also to use ChatGPT or other AI platform to make the reports. I think when you submit the report, now one column is there whether you have used the AI to make the report. There is one column we have to tick there if we are using. And I think sir also many we have received the comment from AI generated comment. We can easily identify this AI generated comment. What to do? If AI is doing reviews, then I can before submission in my manuscript, I can put my manuscript in AI, then I can get this. And no manuscript is perfect. Something we will get. No science is perfect. I mean, but this is the trend. Multimedia format, yes, this is nice. This is the newest trend, which was now in manuscript, they are using the videos. That is very nice. Videos and live imaging, they are using. So that is very nice. If you put the video, then I think the data is more authentic. So that's a nice trend, which is people have to, because sir told about graphical abstract and all this. That already started in 2012, but now the videos and all this, that trend is very good, and I think that is very good to. No video. If you open this, there is another link set down. Video link is there, so we can open it, link it, because they in the text they will write, please see the video, and video link is there now. So that is good actually. So this is making our data more authentic and more appealing also, because when we see by our eyes and our visual, then I think people attract a lot instead of normal video. That's a big problem. That's a problem. That possible. No, I am telling the normal science which we are. Suppose I am taking one picture, I can make a video, and that same video I can upload. And similar type of video we can make by AI also and all that. But honestly, what I think, whatever we do now, they will catch. Not today, 2 hours later, then 2 years or 5 years, definitely they will catch. Then the detection will start. We can't change it. Micro publication, that is really very good. We don't need to pay anything. Suppose you have only the one result, only the one panel. Suppose you have 2-3 graphs or 2-3 pictures, and suppose it's a novel data. So you don't need to complete this story. Normally when we publish, we have to complete this story. But if you have novel data, just take that novel data, write one page manuscript and publish in the journal. It's called the micro publication, and free of cost. People are doing a lot. Instead of biolinks, they are publishing micro publication. If they have only the one page data or one graph, if they have, and that graph is really unique. So people are tending. If you see in the PubMed micro publication, lot of people are. It will not link here because this is not will not go here. But I took one picture, but it's okay. It is gaining popularity. Yes. Problem with us now. So that, these were already the rising trends, because nowadays, especially in the private universities, the pressure of publications are huge. We are not sometimes, when we talk about quality, we don't talk about the quality. We don't about quantity. When we talk about the quantity, we don't talk about the quality. We are not always in the same pace. Okay, so this is the biggest problem, especially for the private universities where they need the numbers. So we never decide where to go with the quality, where to go with the quantity. This is, I think, individual decisions, what they want to do, I think. Profit paradox, I already told, the journals, they are not paying anything to reviewer, they are not paying anything to editor, but they are taking all the money from from the authors. So how long it will be? That's the question. Rejection, if you go with the big journals, they feel pride. Okay, we have the 7% acceptance rate. We have the 13% acceptance rate. If someone has the 50% acceptance rate, you know, the journal is bapar, because the 50% acceptance rate is publish anything. So they are taking as a pride. Okay, yes, we have the only 7% acceptance rate. Rise of AI, we already have discussed. Iniquity of language, yes, English, we already discussed. This is a not problem now, as everybody accepted, okay, we have to go with the English language. There is no other option. Even Chinese have their Chinese journals. If you see, there are many journals that Chinese journals are there. They are promoting, but we are not promoting our Indian journals. Okay, global inequity. They are taking editors from the developing countries, reviewers from the developing countries. They are started to take. So these are the challenges which journals are taking. So on this note, and finish here. We can discuss something. Please. Okay, sir.
I request participants, if you have any question, you can write on the chat box or you may ask. If there is no question, so we'll close this session. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for giving the and such an insightful thoughts. Engaging, it was really engaging. So now we close this session, and we will meet again tomorrow at 2 p.m. 2 to 5 session. It will be there. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you everyone for making it successful. Thank you. Thank you. Admin, you can close the session now.
Okay, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.